Hi everyone. So what I've been thinking is there is a great deal of audience who has been reading a lot about AI, has been seeing a lot of content, but I just thought why not create some videos which help people to use AI more efficiently. So this is my attempt to do that. Today, I'm gonna try do something very basic, which is how do you create a Claude skill? So the Claude skill is something that can be used again and again, and you don't have to prompt it every single time. So it has its memory, it has its own knowledge, it has its own logic, and it can be called at any point in a chat, and it can be used as you see fit. So I'm going to take a very simple example. I'm going to create from a GTM perspective, I'm going to create a skill which is going to inherit my style of LinkedIn posting, which can be invoked every time to create a LinkedIn post that I want. And we will do that through the course of the example. So when I think about creating a LinkedIn writer copy skill, the first thing is that it needs to understand what is the kind of things that I would write. So in order to do that, I need to get an input data source, which is going to be used for an analysis. So one way to go about it is that how would I write a LinkedIn post, what success I have seen so far, and then use that input to create another LinkedIn post, maybe one or two more, and then iterate it, make it perfect, and then make it a skill. So what we're going to do is first analyze all my successful LinkedIn posts. Second is use that analysis, use that style to write one or two LinkedIn posts, make them better in my voice. Once I have reached to that certain degree of perfection, then what we're going to do is create that into a skill which can be invoked or used again and again. Okay, so I'm going to do a screen share and bear with me for the noises. I have a Google Doc where I'm going to put all my decent LinkedIn posts. I'm going to take like a combination of posts where I've been trying to talk a bunch of things, text post, pure text, image, video shares. So obviously there would be more smarter ways to feed this data. I tried Appify, but Appify actually could not get impressions data. I'm pretty sure there is a LinkedIn export or there is a smart tool which will do that. I think we have enough. What we can do simply is just take a dump of all of these from my desktop, everything that I took today, and it will automatically just chronologically dump them into here. One thing I realized about Claude that it can read PDF files better. Okay, I think this is more than enough. I'll create a download, take a dump, and then I'm just there. I've asked three things to analyze. One is what type of post works, what type of content work, and what is the style of writing. So let's see what analysis Claude gives, and we can move from there. So one of the things that I have genuinely realized is think of AI as not a replacement. Think of AI as an enabler. So I would look at it as two ways. One, I can either write a full post which is in my head to a certain structure degree and then use the skill to make it perfect. Or second is I would give it an idea and then it would write the post based on that idea, and then I will take this post and do the last bit of fine tuning and then only upload it. So what's it's saying, there are guest anchored podcasts, solo entrepreneur reflection, credibility, public accountability. Okay, your two biggest circles are referral and Rahul recap both. So before even creating a skill, what I would suggest is to create something like a rules of engagement or a doc for reference, which file can get uploaded before it's transferred. So this is something that I've been realizing that sometimes, not sometimes, most times AI tries to skim over stuff. You have to ask him that, hey, have you gone through the full stuff? Actually, I would stop it and say that we will create a skill based on the inputs of this chat only, so it doesn't over engineer. From a model perspective, obviously Fable was amazing, but I've been a big fan of Opus 4.7, but Opus 4.8 High is a very good model. So it's creating a markdown whose document, which is a .md file, is what Claude says. So let it create that MD file and it will open here on the right side in a preview. So it created everything. I would say check this part, which is hard to not. It's automatically took no M dashes, a line break, no rhetorical question, state the observation, no, you won't believe. So this is not the style that I like. Go through this once, takes this, blah, solo entrepreneur reflection. So it looks like a decent enough. I'm just gonna close it here. You can always copy it, print it, and also you can move it to a Google doc file and edit it there. Personally, I edit it in the same like UI which is in the cloud. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm giving it as much context. And one of the things, if you're not a very big typing person, you could use this. Maybe we could use this in the next one. So to pass the idea. Now, what I want from this is now I want two things. So it's doing a bunch of things. And let's see what kind of post it is suggesting. What is the image brief it is giving? I've asked him to give it two copies. It is giving me options. Now I will pick one of them, which will give us an input, and I will ask them to update the rules of engagement based on that input. So I'm going to cross question it a little bit to like make its life difficult on questions like why, because right now what we are doing is training it. So one of the things for a skill like this, which is an iterative thing, is I would not take everything at its face value. What I mean by that is for the first 10 outputs, even after the skill is developed, I would edit it, but I would also give it back to the AI saying that this is what I edited. Please learn what I have edited and then update the skill. I will show that to you as well, how I do that. So the next two posts, we're going to use voice in one of the posts and then use the skill and then also update the skill in the same play. Let it do its job. So I have two options. One is starts with method forward, which is optimizes for reach and portable insight. And second is reflective builder, optimizes for intensity, leads with why. I am a person who genuinely likes leading with why. I wanted to see why. I wanted to talk about. Obviously, this would do much better, which is what it's saying, optimizes for reach via portable insights. So let me make it life a little difficult, maybe. So two things I've asked him. I said that I need an image with this post. And second, I said I like this reason, the starting with why, but the reach with portable insight style is better for content consumption. This it's also something when people click on read more, they get something valuable outside of the post. So let's see what it does. So it said architecting post structure, balancing personal narrative with actionable insight. This is exactly what I wanted. It's creating an image actually. One of the things about images that Claude does, the design is going to look very AI first. I would say it's a two-edged sword. One, AI first designs obviously gives the impression that you're using AI, which is true. How to build a clause field. The best brief for a voice skill isn't a style guide, it's your own research, which is honestly not a bad looking piece. So I'm going to hide this here and I'm going to take this post and I'm going to edit it. I'm not so happy with this line. Ideally, I wouldn't say it. I am also learning on the go. So this is how I would actually write. Okay. So let's see what it learns. It's saying refining. I like reading what it says, portable line and humility rules. So it actually uses words which I am or may not be like. So let's see what it gives. Let me diff your edits against mine because we'll read it later. Your cuts, it's your own receipt. You kept the generous framing, drop this. So humility gets implied. Now what we are going to do is convert it into a skill, use the skill to write another post and then edit that skill. The primary goal of this entire piece was to create a skill, which is a writing skill. So the image part is just complementary. It's the brainstorming piece. Okay. So there are a lot of inputs on the design and how it went about it, but good enough. Will do the job if I'm in too much hurry. Now let's create the skill. So what also we're gonna do is we're gonna use a new chat and use the chat to invoke the skill. But let's first create and save the skill so that it can be invoked at any point in time. So architecting skill.m. So it says grounded only in this chat's input. We could give it a lot more input. We could take best practices from the internet. I could refer other people's posts, which obviously come in my feed. I could ask his input, which is AI's input, because AI has access to the internet. AI is a 7 on 10 because it averages out everything on the internet. We could use all of that in the combination. We could do a bunch of things as an input. It's your personal choice. Just for the sake of this video, I took one input. Your call on how you want to take the image direction, workflows. Okay, so I would say save skill. Now it's saying manage skill. There is an Akash LinkedIn copy skill. Amazing. Now let's do a new chat, invoke this skill. Here, I'm going to use this so that it's easier. And I just wanted to show. Hey, so I want us to create a LinkedIn post using a skill, but the LinkedIn post is about that while I was creating the skill, which is a copywriting skill, I realized that not a lot of people use Claude design. And I would make my next video about how to use Claude design, where it could refer to your design systems and create a very decent enough designs. So it was just a realization that while I was building a skill for copywriting, there could be another video about using Claude design as a true non-native designer, but with a decent design sense. And how do I invoke a skill? There are multiple ways. So you will see skills here. You could do this. It does this. Use Akash LinkedIn copy. The another way is you could say use and press this, which is this button, and then you see use Akash LinkedIn copy. So you could invoke it in both ways and do this. Let's see what it does. Reading the Akash LinkedIn copy still since it's very explicitly invoked. Let's see, it will get the copy. So what we're going to do is take the copy, edit it, make it better, and update the skill. That's the next step of this video. Let me copy this part. Here's my edited. Let's see what it does. And kindly update the skill. Okay, I'm just gonna ask, is the skill updated? Let's see what it's again. Let's see what it does to it. Says when I skill. Replace. There is an existing. Yeah, I would say upload and replace just to be safe. So the skill is now actually saved. Let's test it in a new chat. Use write a copy LinkedIn post for the following, and then I'm just going to write this. So I did a session recording for creating a Claude skill, share what I've been learning with people, and it's actually being really fun. I'll edit it now and share it with the larger group. Let's see what it does. Oh, so almost like very minor, like that's the part I am after. I left it in. So actually it's done pretty well. So I'm going to stop the screen sharing now, summarize what we have done. Overall, amazing experience doing this. I hope that anyone who sees this video, it does help you to create a new skill, and you can create it for anything from data creation skill, data correction using an MCP to something very advanced like a code review or anything for that matter. Just to summarize, skill is a rules of engagement that you can invoke every now and then. My personal take is don't take the output of the skill as its face value, iterate it, but also give the updated version to Claude so that it updates the skill as well. Continuous loop. You can give as many inputs to the AI to create a skill. But what I would actually do is once you have given all the inputs is to read the rules of engagement in depth to make edits. If you are using multiple data sources, you have to set up hierarchies to take this as a priority over this, refer to this as like set up rules. So spend some time building rules for complex tasks. You have to set complex rules, hierarchies, edge cases, and a bunch of other things. Play around skills, use them as you want. It's good fun. And this is Akash. This is GTM and AI Operator Show. Hopefully, it helps some, if not a lot of people. For people, again, who are much more advanced than me in the AI ecosystem, would love to get your feedback. So it's a continuous learning journey. Thank you, folks.